This is going to be the end of the road for a lot of salmon. These bears are really hungry. They haven't tasted salmon for 10 months, and the big males battle for the best fishing spots. The longer the salmon take over their journey upstream, the weaker they become. And these falls present them with their biggest challenge yet. Although the falls aren't very tall, the bears hold the high ground. The salmon make short, exploratory leaps to see where the bears are. But they don't always get it right. This mother bear has been waiting months for this moment. Competition is fierce for these first salmon, even between a mother and her own cubs. More and more fish arrive at the foot of the falls. Eventually, they have to go for it, regardless of the danger. But numbers are on their side. For every salmon that gets caught, hundreds make it past the bears.
The fox. This clever canine has an amazing set of skills. Deep snow covers the black hills of the Dakotas, and hidden under that icy blanket, field mice are stirring. The odds of catching anything might seem hopeless, but not to him. An enormous leap to catch a critter under 3 feet of snow. But how the heck did he do it? He's homing in on something. But it takes immense concentration, and he needs complete quiet. His ears can pick up the faintest scamper from beneath the snow. But there's a catch. He almost always comes up empty-handed, unless he's facing north. But how's that possible? As unbelievable as it sounds, scientists now think he's actually homing in on the magnetic field of the planet, using it to calculate and plot his trajectory. The kind of math missiles use to hit their targets. Just the slightest distraction can throw him off. But if he's got the North Pole in his sights, he's guaranteed a meal nearly 75% of the time.
Contrary to popular opinion, frogs aren't just selective eaters, feasting only on flies. Take the bullfrog, for example. They'll eat spiders, scorpions, rodents, snakes, fish, and just about anything else that passes in front of them. But how do they manage to be such eating machines? Bullfrogs don't have big claws, sharp beaks, or fangs. Yet they overcome pinchers, poisons, and spicy stingers. With a mouth as big as the great outdoors. Ready to swallow just about anything. They've been known to swim 20 feet to shore and hop an additional 15 to 20 feet, grab a meal, turn around, and hop back into the pond. They've even been known to stalk birds like a lion on the prowl. Eating them wing, beak, and all. And they don't stop at their feathered friends. They'll even eat each other. A small bullfrog that doesn't watch its step can easily become food for a bigger frog. They are quite cannibalistic. A young bullfrog must quickly learn one simple froggy fact. Eat whatever it wants, just don't end up on someone else's menu.
This baby red kangaroo, called a Joey, has been out of the pouch for just 2 days. And Mom is getting ready to give birth again. How does this work? Well, let's find out. A pink kangaroo embryo the size of a lima bean pops out. It's blind and deaf, and yet somehow it's got to find its way to the mother's pouch. Its hind legs, which will someday allow the kangaroo to jump nearly 30 feet, are now just useless buds. It's going to have to drag itself upwards 6 inches, using its forelimbs to climb through the forest of its mother's thick fur. This quest will take about 3 minutes. Once inside the pouch, it searches out Mom's nipples and starts feeding. This embryo will remain latched on to one nipple for 34 weeks. Once it leaves the pouch, it'll continue to suckle from its mother for another 4 months. Now here's the amazing part. This tiny pink critter was actually conceived many months ago. In an earlier stage, it remained in a kind of suspended animation called a diapause, while mother tended to the youngster that's now outside the pouch. The mother kangaroo now produces 2 separate and distinct kinds of milk. One for the embryo, the other for Joey. Once she reaches sexual maturity, the female breeds for 8 to 12 years. In times of drought, she doesn't breed, but otherwise, she keeps her cycle of diapause, embryos, and joeys going strong. Usually, where there's a fertile female, there are also males fighting over her. The newcomer is on the right, over 6 feet tall, and the early money is on his becoming the alpha male here. Why? Because only the subdominant male kicks in these competitions, and the roux on the left is doing all the kicking. The dominant male, having won the right to woo Mom, claims his mate. The scent of the female attracts another male suitor. But the dominant male scoffs at this upstart. Hear that? That's the sound of a dominant male kangaroo scoffing. The result of this mating will produce an embryo that will grow a few days and then become dormant until the embryo we observed is out of the pouch. Like an air traffic controller, Mom has to keep these babies stacked up, in line, ready to take off.
Under observation is Min Min. She is having a very difficult labor, and it's taken a serious turn for the worse. Three days have gone by, and she should have given birth by now. The fact that she hasn't suggests one thing: her baby is probably dead. But Min Min is defying the odds. Incredibly, she is pushing on. To survive a 3-day labor is unheard of here, and yet she is trying hard. And then a breakthrough. Pandas are born tiny, pink, blind, and virtually bald. Min Min has had a daughter. Except for a marsupial like a kangaroo, giant pandas give birth to the smallest mammal babies relative to mother's size. But for a usually tiny baby, Min Min's is unusually large. Large births are always difficult, and it's little wonder. At 7.5 ounces, Min Min's baby is almost double the average size of a newborn panda. It's also a fighter. Thrashing legs are testament to that.